So we're going to get started now. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, I wish to state that on November 21st, 2014, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township Bulletin Board, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel-Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on UTTV Channel 97 and on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct this announcement made a part of the minutes of this meeting. I would ask all to rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Barbara, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Insera?
Here.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mayor Colombo?
Here.
All members are present.
Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes for November 10th, regular and closed session minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any corrections, deletions, omissions that anyone's aware of? Hearing none. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
I wasn't here for the closed session.
So you should stay for closed session.
Very good.
So would you like us to separate them, or?
Why don't we separate them, just so Tony can vote on the other side?
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that.
Okay, so Ed, would you like to amend your motion for open session only?
Motion for open session only, sir.
Second.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Would you like to make a motion now for the closed session?
Motion for closed session.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Abstain.
Abstain. Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried with 4 in favor.
Okay. Barbara, do you have anything for us this evening?
I just have one thing. I just wanted to remind everyone that the township offices will be closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving and also on Friday. If your trash collection day is Thursday, hold your trash until Friday. Your trash will be collected on Friday, and if it is on Friday, then hold your trash until Monday, and your trash will be collected on Monday, and hold all recycling until Monday. And that's all I have this evening, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Daniel.
Okay, nothing at this time, but we have 3 contract negotiation matters, a litigation matter, and some personal matters for closed session.
Okay. Paul.
Thank you. First, I started circulating, I don't know if everybody got a copy of the formulation of what I would recommend for people to be appointed for the floodplain management public information group. I kind of got responses back. I still was waiting for some responses from some other stakeholder groups in the community. I haven't received them, but I'd like to be able to get that group up and running by in January 2015, so that I can have enough meetings under our belt to apply for the updated CRS program for next year. The public information group is a major component in the new CRS program, and having that active functioning group is important.
And who are you going to have on that group again?
It was Bill Bailey, he's a resident and a builder, Lynn Fader is a resident of Strathmere, Steve Martinelli, a surveyor and a resident, and Tom Heist, as an insurance representative. All 4 of those people were integral the last time we kind of met informally to develop the revisions to the flood hazard ordinance. In addition to those people, I'd ask, you'd have Scott Morgan as Director of OEM, and Nick Kenny as construction official, and then I'd ask as a representative from the Township Committee to also sit in on our meetings, just to have a liaison with the Township Committee to make sure everything is up to date. I've also gotten responses from the various major utility companies to they'll periodically send a representative there to help us guide our public information outreach.
Okay. So you wait through that day by resolution sometime?
I think that's what.
Yeah.
All right. And so then we'll talk amongst the five of us to determine who will, serve on that communication
Okay,
team as well, so.
all right, thank you.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a reorganization resolution.
No, just, but sometime between now and, the first or second meeting in January to
Right.
establish that committee at some point. But it doesn't need to be a reorganization.
Okay,
The other item I just wanted to update the committee on, the planning board, at their last meeting, did make recommendations for zoning changes to chapter 19 and 20, and also for a bulkhead standard ordinance, as well as a minor change to the zoning map to make a minor change. So sometimes that will be coming to the Township Committee. I just didn't know if the committee wanted to have that, resolutions, on a future upcoming meeting to see it in draft form before this year, or if you wanted just to, start tackling it in the beginning of the new year.
well, I think before we launch a resolution, and I'm not opposed to, we have 2 more meetings to go, but I think the township needs to at least have, the committee have an opportunity to go through it and, maybe make some suggestions if somebody, if they have some suggestions for some revisions, but, and so rather than just go ahead and put the information and do the resolution, at the same time, I would prefer that the committee has a chance to take a look at it first.
All right, I'll distribute the change, the recommended changes to the committee members, and then at an upcoming meeting, probably in 2015, we'll take a look at it.
That does require ordinance change, and the change in zoning will require notice to
The planning board did do public
but
notice.
that was just the master plan reexamination, it was not the ordinance. So I'll take a look what they did, but the likelihood is they're gonna have to be formally noticed when the ordinance goes in.
Okay,
Okay?
that's all I had to see. Thank you.
Okay? Barbara?
I have nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Coggins?
Nothing to report this evening.
Mr. Young?
One or two things. Paul, any status on the bids for the lights?
They're due tomorrow,
Okay.
so we'll know tomorrow afternoon how the bids come in, and they'll be reported at the first meeting in December.
Okay. We had a situation over the weekend with a door down at the senior center, and the bottom lock wasn't working on it, so we went down and opened it up and tried to get it working. Couldn't get it working, so was that our responsibility or county's? Did you find out, Barb?
I haven't had any word on that.
Okay.
Well, I did talk to Barbara about it as well, and we're certainly going to try and get a few more keys available to us in the event of an
We'll go to a
emergency.
swipe card or something, yeah. It's not an issue, as long as we have keys to get out and check it. The door was shaking with the wind, and it kept setting the alarm off, so the state police were there 2 or 3 times. So we did take care of that over the weekend. Work's going on down at Amanda's with the baseball fields. The 3rd field was taken down, so we can move that location. Topsoil has been brought in, and we started putting the infield in place as far as the actual topsoil for it. We're still in the same situation with manpower. I've had maybe 2 people down there working 2 or 3 days a week, so we're not getting a lot accomplished. And, hopefully that's something we can try to get 3 or 4 guys to get that thing at least graded and done before the ground completely before it freezes. So that's the big issue. We had one situation with wrestling program that I went through the board of directors for wrestling and worked with, and that was about a young man that parents live, or the father lives here, but the child doesn't. There's some contention as far as whether he could or could not wrestle here. I sent that to the rec board for their advisory, to advise us on December the 5th. And other than that, that's about it. And we do need to look going into next year with the insurances for the special events to make sure that we have a blanket policy that covers us. Right now, every event we have to go out and pay for the insurance, which I think is kind of crazy. If we have liability insurance, it should cover us.
I did request, and I am getting quotes for that, so we should have that shortly.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot cheaper to get it as a blanket policy than paying for it every event. So if we can make sure that we look into that for next year, we have a lot of things we want to do, and a lot of things are going to come up at the last minute to be done. So I just don't want to see us keep taking a bath on insurance that we can correct possibly very easily. That's it.
Okay, I just have a couple quick things. One, last Tuesday, I joined Paul and our green team. They were honored for their bronze status. They looked at the overall point structure and for a first time winner, as it were. I thought we did very well. They had a list of all those that were being honored that day, the towns, and for the most part, we were certainly above the average with the points. So kudos to our, what were they, about a year into this, right, Paul?
Just over a year, yes.
And so that's quite an achievement for just a year to put us in really with a number of much larger towns that certainly have probably staff and wherewithal to be able to develop plans that help to create this point structure. So they did a great job. Also, I had an informal meeting today with Paul and Barbara, and I joined New Jersey American Water Company. I will only say that it didn't go as well as I would have liked. So we're going to try and plan another meeting to see if there are opportunities for potential for some folks that may have some trouble with their wells to be able to at least have access to some of the city water if, in fact, they go along with this project to build the tower that they're talking about, water tower behind the Acme. So more to come on that. And finally, Barbara and I have been working back and forth with the renewal of our insurance policy. We've gotten a number of quotes. We're trying to get better quotes, and when we get to the point where we feel that we're comfortable with what's being given to us, we'll bring it back to the committee. So that's all I have. Mr. Insera.
Just a couple of things. The residents information packet's been going out, and it's going out soon. A couple of changes from the last year, nothing no major. The one change that's been made to is the brush pickup. Instead of breaking up in zones, like week 1, this zone, week 2, your zone, it'll be a month-long event where they're going to be out every day doing brush pickup. It's easier and faster, and it requires less labor.
And they're doing the leaves too, Tom?
These will be the long just like normal. We can get a month-long event every day. Got the, but the change that's been made is the brush pickup. That instead of being zones every day for a month, so it's cleaner, faster, and less labor intense. The bulk pickup, it's pretty much stays the same except for holiday change. Other than that, nothing's changing in that. Leave is the same, pretty much. So other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Barr.
I'd just like to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And above all, keep an eye on the weather. Apparently it's supposed to get a little bit nasty starting on Wednesday. So everybody is going to go nuts on Black Friday. Pay attention to the roadways and return home safely after the holiday. And that's all I have to report, sir.
Okay. With that, we shall move on with the resolutions. Barbara?
Okay, item number 1, commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Upper Township Rescue Squad.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Okay, and we'll have them here to honor them at the next meeting. So would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 2, setting the date and time of the 2015 reorganization meeting of the Township of Upper.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And that will be January 5th, Monday at 6 p.m. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 3, directing the distribution of the Township of Upper's net return surplus funds held in trust by the Atlantic County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Okay, let's memorialize what we discussed last week. where we get a refund of $3,626. We're putting that towards our continued funds. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Conger?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 4, appointing Michael J. Donahue Esquire in the law offices of Blaney and Donahue as special legal counsel to complete certain in-rem foreclosure matters.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Dan, this was a closed session item. Is that
Yes,
correct? Was
it's
the next
for
item on
the
mistake?
tax lien foreclosures. It's no additional cost to the township, just to finish
No,
it.
but do I get to vote on it?
Oh, you can still vote on it if you're in agreement with it. If you have any questions or not, you may want to abstain.
No, it's the same for last year.
Same as last year.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, authorizing the mayor to execute a New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Land Use Regulation Program application for the purpose of beach and dune maintenance activities on the beaches in Strathmere, Upper Township, Cape May County, New Jersey.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Hold on one second. You know what? I really want to turn to Paul and get an update of where we are with this.
Regarding the beach dune maintenance permit, that's the application that allows us, we have to do it every 5 years. It allows us to do our regular maintenance activities up on the beach as far as dune fence, general maintenance,
Planting.
beach, planting, grass and all that stuff, emergency restoration, if we have emergencies to do emergency work up there. It's due in January, so after this is authorized, I should be able to, over the next week, get the public notices out to all the residents within 200 feet of the beach, as well as the public notice, and then that'll be submitted well in time for January. The one thing I did notice they have changed one of the permit requirements. I don't know if we're going to be required to do it this time, but they may talk to us about it. We are going to have to prepare a public access plan. The regulations say that you have to have a public access plan for any beach and dune maintenance permits as of November 2015. They may ask us to do it at this point, so it may be something that we may be asking the planning board to look at, preparing that plan sometime next year, but it will be a condition forthcoming to prepare the beach access plan.
Well, wouldn't some of that include what's going to happen with the Beach Street Plan Show, where they're going to build up the dunes and put a diagonal access at street ends?
Those are the technical issues. The beach access plan is really going to just look at the number of access point locations as far as are we maintaining the existing beach access locations, and the proposed project does, it doesn't close any beach access points, so the new project will impair any of our public access.
Which is better than most, because we're at every street end.
Correct.
Please.
Item number 6, certification of costs for abatement of nuisance on Block 303, Lot 1.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 7, under ordinances. This is the public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 14, 2014, an ordinance vacating a portion of Willits Road adjacent to Block 487, lots 22 and 33, Block 488, lots 1 and 13 through 16 and 22, and Block 489, lots 1 and 12 through 22 within the Township of Upper County of Cape May, the state of New Jersey.
Okay, before I open it up to the public, is there any questions or concerns that the Township Committee has?
Were these supposed to be offered to the adjacent homeowners too, or?
That's part of the street vacation. We did poll the neighbors, and we didn't have any negative responses from the adjacent neighbors. But typically with a street vacation,
they were, they were all notified, so everything's,
They were all notified, yes.
Well, I'll ask, but doesn't look like we have too many people in attendance, but is anybody here that would like to speak to the Township Committee on ordinance vacating a portion of Willis Road? Let the record reflect that there is no public comment. We'll close the public portion of the ordinance, and I'll entertain a motion for adoption.
Move to adopt.
second.
Let's call the roll, please.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes,
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 8, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 15, 2014, an ordinance amending revised general ordinance, chapter 10 of the Code of Upper Township to provide for registration and maintenance of vacant properties. And if the committee so chooses to introduce the ordinance at this time, I would like to have the public hearing on December 15th.
Move to introduce.
second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes,
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 9, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 16, 2014, an ordinance amending revised general ordinance, chapter 20 of the Code of Upper Township to amend the application fee charged to persons applying for the services of the municipal public defender. And again, the public hearing, if you so choose, would be on December 15th.
Okay. Someone like to make a motion to introduce?
Move to introduce.
Second.
Any other discussion? And this fee actually, I believe, goes from 100 to 200, is that?
It goes from 50
To 200.
When we were auditing the municipal court, the statute allows the fee up to $200, and we have been charging 50, so to recoup some of our costs.
Okay,
Did we
Call
have
it.
a second? I'm sorry.
excuse me?
Did we have a second on that?
Yes.
And that was,
Who'll be first?
I moved it and Tony second.
oh, okay, all right, no problem. Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
yes,
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 10, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 17 and 2014, and ordinance establishing salaries for the Township of Upper for the calendar year 2015.
Move to introduce.
Second.
And that date will be 15th as well?
Yes, yes, please, sir.
Okay. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
yes,
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. And then under discussion, number 11, we have the draft of the 2015 residence information packet. Which Mr. Insera
Kind of covered it a little bit
just
already.
covered it a little bit, the changes.
Okay, we have a first, I'll second it. Any discussion? And this really is just the trash and recycling collection holiday schedule, so.
Yeah, the only thing I saw in here is, and I'm gonna have to point it out to you at a later time, there's a typo in here. It's Public Works? Okay. I'll get with you on it, I'll show you where it is.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
yes,
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 12 is the final change order for reconstruction of Ocean Avenue.
Okay, Paul, you want to talk to us a little bit about this?
Sure. Change order, the 2013 paving project and reconstruction of Ocean Avenue was a unit price contract. And typically with unit price contracts, the original quantity is an estimate. So, as you do the work, some quantities goes up, some quantities go down, and at the end, you do a change order to kind of, officially change the contract and have the contractor agree upon what his final contract prices are. As you can see from the change order, overall there is a decrease in the contract. It also includes a asphalt penalty. Some of the work, after the work was done, we go out and core the project to determine material consistency and composition and thickness and different testing of the material. And they're, in accordance with the specifications and the DOT standards. When you calculate their deviations from the standards, we applied a penalty to the overall contract. So the overall contract went down. This is typically when the contract goes down like this, we don't need a formal change order. However, because it's a DOT municipal aid grant project, they require a formal change order just to close the project out.
So, are there any change in fees or anything?
No.
Aren't we getting a rebate of sorts, if I understood it correctly when I read it? It looks as though we're.
You're not getting a rebate because we haven't paid that contract. As we withhold money, as the contractor does money, we hold retainage for the contract. So actually you'll see on the bill list, there's an invoice on the bill for $44 and change. And that's, to balance out what we owe the contractor for the final amount of the contract. So there's no real rebate in that sense.
DOT looking for a formal written resolution.
Yeah, that's what I prepared a formal change order, and we would need an agenda item, a resolution at an upcoming meeting to authorize the mayor and Barbara to endorse the change order so we can submit it to the DOT. The contractor's already signed off and agreed upon to the contract quantities.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions of Paul? So, just for protocol, Dan, do we need to make a motion now so that we can have a resolution, or we just go through?
Direct the clerk to put the resolution on the next meeting, just so it's formalized and make sure that DEP gets what they need.
Okay.
Pay less money, basically.
Okay,
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated in the full minutes of this meeting.
second. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Cogan?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
There are two reports in municipal departments, Animal Control and Department of Public Works. They're available tomorrow at the request in the Township Clerk's office. We'd like to make a motion to accept these reports.
Motion to accept the reports?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Well, at this time, we've reached the public comment portion of the meeting. And so I'll open it up to see if anybody has any questions for the Township Committee. Okay, let the record reflect that there was no public comment for this meeting, and I will close the public comment portion and turn to Mr. Coggins for a motion to go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Contract negotiation with Cape Regional Medical Center for pre-employment testing. Shared services with fire districts for website services. Collective bargaining agreement. On litigation, we have some facility vandalism, and we have some personnel matters to discuss. I also include in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality. With respect to litigation matters, such discussions will be made public when litigation is complete and the applicable appeal period has expired.
Second, would you call the roll?
Before you do that, I think there needs to be a correction on that. The collective bargaining agreement should probably be for hearing examinations, contract negotiations, and not collective bargaining. That was a typo from prior motion, so I'd like to change that if you would modify your motion and your.
I'll second with amended motion.
Yes.
Mr. Congo?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Formo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you all for coming this evening. On behalf of the Township Committee, we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. If you're traveling over the river and through the woods, please drive safely.